she even applying anything?
Mm-hmm.
That thing's empty, isn't it?
No.
I don't see nothing on there.
You see the moisture?
I'm okay.
But you just need a little bit.
A little bit more.
Shut up. Today's video is sponsored by, I don't know,
Rosebud?
Jack Black?
Yeah,
Well, it can't
that's
be
not,
the same man.
That's not
It
what
says
that
Jack
says.
Black.
No, it doesn't.
What does it say?
It says JB Intense. Oh, Jack Black.
If this is the same Jack Black that we know and love, I'm gonna start buying this more often. Anyway, hey guys.
Howdy.
What's up and welcome back or to the Roomies Digest. My name's Christine.
I'm Monique.
And today we're doing our June wrap up.
Yes. Yes, we are.
It's a doozy.
For Christine.
It's late.
Because of Christine. It's not a blame game. It's just the reasons that are the reasons.
You guys see how she always has to make it a competition.
I don't think this is me calling anyone out. It's just...
Anyone, blanket statement. There's two of us. It's either me or you.
We're doing our June wrap up. And we've got...
Jingles.
We've got a lot to wrap up. When I say we, I mean anyone.
Anyone in this room. All right. Let's get started. Bum, bum, da 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 da, bum, bum, da. In today's video, obviously we are doing our June wrap up. So as you guys know, if you are a part of our channel family, we did the Studio Ghibli Readathon last month.
Studio Ghibli. It was fun.
It was so fun. I think both of us got bingo. You didn't get bingo? You didn't get 3 o'clock?
What do you mean bingo? Like, did I do the prompts of the movie I was hosting? Yes.
Didn't I thought you got all the way down too?
No. Remember I said I wasn't I was gonna try, but in my heart of heart I knew I wasn't gonna hit it.
Okay, just kidding. Only one of us got bingo. But Monique at least completed her prompts for her.
And when you figure out how I did it, you guys are gonna be so proud of me.
It's a mind game. I just want to say before we get started, I did 2 reading vlogs last month, which has some of the books that are on like my TBR for last month. So I just wanted to say really quick, if you're interested in knowing about these 3 book of the month books, the vlog's up there. So go ahead and click that. You can see what I thought about Half Sick of Shadows, How Lucky, and The Maidens. Some were good, some were bad. And that's all I'll say about that. Along with the book of the month vlog, I also had a Netgalley vlog, which I did 4 books for that. It's going to be 6 Crimson Cranes, The Taking of Jake Livingston, While We Were Dating, and The Queen Will Betray You. Sorry, one of those was a DNF, so I couldn't really remember much about it. So if you're interested in that, there's also a vlog linked up there. So go ahead and click on that, and you guys can see more of an inside scoop of those 7 books. So, I think that takes that pile down a little.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Saving time, saving energy.
I'm impressed.
Should I tell what the star ratings for them were?
No, you told them to go to the vlog.
Okay, go to the vlog. We're being hardcore.
Look, I'm impressed. I was impressed. I was like, okay, it's starting now, but look at us. We value your time.
So now we can get into the real things.
Let's just hold up my stack and
okay.
And then you'll see what we're working with, team.
That's a good stack. Okay, so last month, obviously, we were really busy with Studio Ghibli. We also did the 24-hour Readathon live show, which was celebrating 2K on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and check out that video as well. We're just promoting everything. We're getting it out of the way so you guys don't have any more interruptions.
All right, so for my prompts for Studio Ghibli, I was in charge of the Kikis vibe. So we had to do a book that had like witchy magical elements, a book that's been on your TBR for a long time, and a book that was dealing with mental health. And you guys, I knocked out all my prompts with my new favorite Brown Sister book. I
can't believe this.
Because you know I knocked out all my prompts with Danny Brown. She is a witch. Her and her boo thing are dealing with anxiety, and it's been on my TBR for a long time. So,
wow.
Yes, 5 stars for me. This was my favorite
Wow.
Brown sister. Like, I thought that Eve Brown could not be topped, but I read it out of order. I went backwards to Danny.
I knew you were gonna love Danny. She's a workaholic. That's like right up your alley.
It's the guy that's romantic for me. Ah! It was perfect. It's so funny. Audibly laughing out loud, like chortling. Love that word. But 5 stars, definitely recommend.
And it's a fake dating trope, right?
Yes, fake dating. Actually, round up to 6.
Round up to 10. Why not?
Yeah, so this knocked out all my prompts. I was like, well, this was unexpected. I was not expecting her to be a witch.
For my prompts for Howl's Moving Castle, I read 3 books. So I had a flamboyant main character, which was the Her Royal Highness book. I loved this book. It's a sapphic romance. A high schooler is going to school in Ireland, and she happens to be rooming with preppy, kind of like snobby Royal, and there's like a little romance. It is so much fun. I got this rec from Jess from Books Past Bedtime. She really loved this, and y'all, it was just so good. It was like heartwarming. Like the atmosphere was fun because it was in Ireland. I was like, wow, this is everything I could ever want. And the girl, our main character, is from Texas. So yes, I ended up giving this a 4.5 stars. It was such a fun time. Highly recommend, especially if you're into like the YA romance, YA contemporary, atmospheric, you like Ireland, like this is your book.
You own it?
So much fun. I don't own it. I actually read it on audio and it was a fun time.
All right, I'll find it.
It's a really fun time. But yeah, you should definitely read it. All right, so the next prompt that I ended up doing was an unconventional love, a book about, you know, possibly a vampire human romance or a werewolf vampire romance, or in this case, a werewolf human romance. If you guys have not read Blood and Chocolate, this is like one of the OG like creature fantasy books from like the 2000s. Was an interesting reread. One of my first like fantasy books I ever read in my life, and it's so funny because on the reread I was rooting for the other character. Which is so funny because like to me when I was a kid I hated this one guy, but obviously there's a little love triangle. If y'all don't know, there's a little love triangle between a werewolf female, a werewolf male, and a just normal human dude. And when I was younger, I was like rooting for the human dude. But in my old age, I'm with the werewolf guy. And I don't know if it's because he's a baddie, like he comes up on the motorcycle and he's just a bad dude, but like in my old age I realized like he really understood Vivian, okay? They were meant to be together. So anyway, I don't want to spoil the book because obviously there's a love triangle, so you got to figure out who she gets with. But it was a fun reread, and like me thinking about it, I gave it a 3.5 stars after I was like done with it, because I'm like, would the general public like this? I don't know. It was nostalgic for me. I liked it. I think I might bump it to a 4, but it was a good time. I liked it. So that was my unconventional love character. You know, was it the best writing ever back in the day? Questionable. The next prompt that I ended up doing for Studio Ghibli was the fiery main character. You guys know, I've been talking about this book probably for, at this point, 3 months. But Empire of Gold. Y'all, it was the last book in the David Bad trilogy. I had such a good time with this. I laughed, I cried. My man Dara, he really deserved more than he got.
Cried.
But it's okay.
She screamed. She yelled. She threw things. My man's Dara. In the end, she survived.
I did. And I'm honestly a Dara fan for life. And that's not to say I'm not an Ollie and God, I can't remember her name because I just blocked her out my brain. Nari. That's not to say I'm not an Ollie and Nari fan, but like Dara, he had to go do his own thing, and I am interested and ready for his story after this story, because y'all know she's about to write a whole book about Dara. So
I didn't realize there was a moon there.
I know, isn't it? So it's honestly like the hottest book I've ever seen in my life.
Pull it together.
Like, look at her.
Is it just green?
Well,
there's a thing.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like her initial.
When I looked to the side, I didn't see that.
Anyway, it's looking pretty. pretty. Anyway, or he,
excited.
whoever. But
Same.
yeah, so this ended up being a 4.5 for me, and that's just because of the ending, okay? The ending wasn't bad. The ending wasn't, you know, psycho, but it's just not what I wanted. And so I had to bump it down half a star. Please don't hate me, Shannon. Not that you would know. But anyway, guys, I highly recommend the Dare Bad trilogy. If you are a fantasy reader, you need to read this trilogy. It's a Mina fantasy, takes place halfway in Cairo, like Egypt, and the other part takes place in obviously the fantasy world of Daybabad, and it was just a good time.
What's that mean?
Middle Eastern, North African.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the kind of fantasy that I have figured out I love. I love like Middle Eastern, North African, and then like Greece mythology, which is kind of sort of in that area. Long story short, this is a really great book. You guys should definitely read it, and I'll give you a pro tip. If you read this book and you don't have the alternate ending epilogue, I mean, you know about it. I talked about it like 50 times by now.
She's cried, she's yelled through things.
Yes, you guys need to get the alternate ending epilogue. It has the Dara chapter that you need to feel complete. Okay, and
you just start searching like,
advice.
how do I heal?
No, it was honestly by accident because it wasn't in this book, and I wanted to look up a quote from the book, like for my end of year or end of month quotes or whatever, but I didn't have the book because I was traveling, and I was like, all right, let me just check it out from the library and like go to this part, you know, da 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 da. And so I went there, and I was like on the last page, and I said, wait a minute, because you could like swipe on the ebook, and I said, wait a minute, and it was a whole like alternate ending epilogue, and I'm like,
You sure it's not in there?
I don't think so.
What is this?
That's the glossary.
When you turn the page right here.
Acknowledgements. Wait, don't read this. You're gonna get a spoiler.
Of the glossary.
I'm just saying.
It's the glossary.
You're really close to the last page of the last book. Anyway, I've gone on about this enough, but you guys need to read this book. Please, 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 please. Please do it for me or yourselves. Anyway, all right. Moving on.
All right, so next, I actually did 2 buddy reads this month. Who am I? I was actually attempting to do 3 buddy reads, but I cannot get Wolf Song anywhere from the library, so that was put on hold.
That'll be for another day.
I will just have to text Nat my thoughts. I'm sorry. In actually completed buddy reads, I read Where the Crawdads Sing with my mother, and we both had different reactions to this book. I just liked it. It was good, you know, it was good mystery. It was good to see what was happening.
Wait, your mom loved it?
My mom loves this book.
That's so funny. My mom loved it too, and I'm like, I don't know if I would even like it.
Is your mom a science teacher?
Yeah, math and science.
My mom's a scientist, and she was like,
so it's the science part?
Yeah,
biology or something?
Yeah, and Nicole, she likes it too, and she's a geologist.
Oh, Cup of Nicole.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that people really
science
like
people.
how like the environment, the ecosystem is shown here, because it's like literally just marshland, swamp marshland, and she's like really into the nature of that area.
Yeah.
And you know, it's good and all, but I just couldn't. I was just so bothered by it's something so small, but I had to take a star down. I was just bothered by, you know, when people write like how words should be said.
Oh, yeah.
So like instead of saying like liquor but just spelling it normal with a Q, it's like liquor with 2 K's. It's just supposed to show the dialect of like,
what is that called?
I forgot. It's like
I knew what you were talking about, but as soon as you said like that
is it
phrase,
a homonym? No, I'm making that up. But y'all know, y'all are smart. Please tell us if you know what I'm talking about. But it's just like it was used a lot, and it was just bothering me. But maybe it's just because I'm from the South, so I like in my brain I automatically would just.
It's like an ism, isn't it?
Colloquialism? No, that's not right.
Wait, we're getting there. Okay.
Anyway, I think maybe because I am from the South, I just would read things that way anyway. So
yeah,
I feel
like in your
so I think
accent.
it was just bothering me at hardcore because I was like, why is this like this?
Right.
So that was just a pet peeve of mine. And then I just felt like the ending was a little predictable, so it went down a star for me again. So that's why I rated it 3. My mom rated it 5. She could not. She was just like, she had quotes. She was ready when we were talking about it. I was like, dang, mama, you have notes. So yeah, so our buddy read was successful. I'm happy to report that we picked a great book. I'm glad I bought this for her for her birthday.
Yeah, because now Christmas. She loves it.
Yes, because she like freaking loved it. I was like, wow, okay, Mo has thought about things and was a good book pickers. That's always like a fear of mine, like recommending a book or like saying this book you should read, and then they hate it.
Oh yeah, my mom never likes the books I rec for her. Tale as old as time.
But you gotta just.
But the thing is, I know her taste. That's what kills me.
So anyway, so that was how that went down. My next buddy read I did with Annie. I'll link her channel down below, and we read Red Rising.
You're surprisingly chipper for
the
rating that you gave this book.
I'm trying to, have all smiles because, Christine is part of the family. But, I'm
so sorry. Mr. Pierce Brown, if you ever see these videos, I'm so sorry. It was a joke when we did that post, and somehow it's just become this marriage proposal. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, Mr. Pierce Brown. I'm not in any way. Let me not even address him when I say these words. So
separate the author from the book.
Yeah. This was a 3-star for me as well. I was just not connecting with it like I thought I was. I don't know why. Like there was a part of me that I was like, okay, I started reading it physically, switched to audiobook, and that audio narrator.
Not it.
I'm sorry if you came across it. I'm so sorry, but it was not it. It was like an old man.
This is the same issue I had with The Darker Shade of Magic. It's like an old person is narrating it. No offense to them and their age.
Yeah, like.
But the character is like 20. Or like in Dara. I love him so much. In Darrow's
case, he's like 16 or something.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
So like, I mean, I'm sure they've had like a hard life living on Mars, but.
He's not like.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't sound like
an old Irish
your great
man.
uncle. So.
Too many Guinnesses.
So I was just having a hard time like figuring out the right way to read this. I stuck with the audiobook. I enjoyed the audiobook for the roast aspect of it, but I also kind of in the end, once they started getting into like
the action of the end.
Yeah, I was taken aback by a lot of the deaths that were occurring. So that was shocking.
That's why I said don't get attached to anybody.
Yeah, you can't get attached to anyone.
One of those
You really
books.
can't. So yeah, I gave it a 3. It's just because I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting the stakes to be a little higher. I didn't know why they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were training for a bigger fight, and then I realized
and that was the fight.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Okay. So I had to like recalibrate my brain. But I'm really excited to give Golden Sun a chance because I hear it's like a completely different. It like takes the series to another level. So I will be reading that. I'm not gonna say next month. I might try, but it just depends on. I guess this month. It just depends on what card I draw for the Tarot Readathon.
Yeah, I think Golden Sun is my favorite.
Yeah, because I really like the science aspect of sci-fi, and I felt like this was more like I don't even want to say Hunger Games because.
Well, no, I don't want to say there's science in the second one. Like, I mean, it's space. That's what I said.
Well, yeah, like I want something to do, like
like want something to do.
Like Leviathan Awakes is not science based, but like we're still in space doing stuff. Like we're traveling the galaxy, the expanse. Anyway, that were my 2 buddy reads. I just
had a good time.
Yes.
Okay, so for the buddy reads, for me, I did The Queen of Nothing, My Life and Love, and How the King of Elfane Learned to Hate Stories. So I ended up giving The Queen of Nothing and How the King of Elfane Learned to Hate Stories both 5 stars, and what a time to be alive. I understand how people could not like this series, but I am telling you guys, and I've said this about the other 2, if you're into like a low-key fantasy, like starting into fantasy just as a genre, and this is why I also think you would like it, because it's not like crazy fantasy.
I thought you said low-key.
Oh, like L-O-K-I.
And I was like, oh, there's a jokester?
Low-key? I mean, there is actually a jokester character.
Jokester god? Anyway,
there is.
Carry on. A low-key.
Yeah, like a low-key character. Or like series, then this is the series for you. And also, I've said this before, but Holly Black truly is a genius. I'm not going to go too far into it because I'm going to link up our discussion like up there in the cards so you can see both of our discussions for those 2 books. But Holly Black is a genius. I'm going to have that put on my gravestone because like I truly think if you don't like these books, I feel like you maybe are overlooking something in the text. So I would say try it again. try it again and really think about the words that are in these books. Because like she's just a genius, the way everything comes back together, and it's very subtle, but like if you catch it, it's genius. Anyway.
Oh, that's fun. That one's fun.
Yeah. It's like you'll probably see I underlined in this book. It's like really great, you know, the meaning behind the words is really quite good. And I'm excited because she is coming out with an adult fantasy, and I'm like, girl, gear up and give me more of those books right now. That was my like one, I think the only buddy read that I did last month, really, because I was just gung-ho on getting Studio Ghibli stuff out of the way. So let's get into this stack. All right, guys, so let's start with romances. I had a fantastic romance month. Let me just show you some of the books that I read. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, Beach Read by Emily Henry, Credence by Penelope Douglas. Okay, so if you guys watched our 24-hour like reader Dare Extraordinaire, this was one of the books that I got from Monique. This was unexpected. My first dark, like, true romance. And guys, at first I was like, what the am I reading? Then suddenly I was under the spell of Credence. I'm like, I could live in this world.
Please, no.
I could live in this world.
No.
But let me say this. Okay, so Credence, if you guys don't know what this is, dark romance, first of all. There is a main character. I even forget her name because I don't know. But she basically goes to live with her father's brother, so like her step uncle. Yeah, it's like not actually her uncle. So all these people that she's going to live with, she's not blood related to, but her step uncle, because her parents have passed away in an accident, and he has 2 sons. And is it like a reverse harem situation?
Is it like it is?
Guys, what a time to be alive for me. I'm so like happy that I'm alive to read this book. And so I ended up giving this a 4.5 stars. And I think that's just because like the writing was a little off, like tiny half a star off. But surprisingly, this story was really good. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say. If you're into dark romances, you need to read Credence. And it's definitely X-rated. So let me just say, if you're under 18, please don't. I didn't advise this book to you at all. But yeah, blur it out. But if you're over 18 and you're into dark romances, the aunties say read it. And the ending was just so surprising. I was like, wow, this actually had substance.
I haven't read Credence.
Who would have thought?
I would like to.
Yeah, the ending, like, it was like, wow. And y'all know in a romance, if it's got a little bit more than the romance, like, it's not just like, you know, the
it
smut.
went a little somewhere.
Right. And you were like, ooh.
Good. Okay.
My heart
growth.
Yeah, my heart hurt. Y'all, I teared up at the end of this. Because I was like, if this happens, I'm really just not going to be okay. Anyway. All right. So another book that made me really happy, Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. We've talked about this all over BookTube, you know, Book Talk. Everybody's like, read this book, read this book, read this book.
5 stars for me.
Read this book. If you haven't read this book, shame on you, okay? This is a 5-star, like, out the gate. And y'all, I know they say it's a hate to love, but like...
It's hate to friends.
It's like hate to friends to like,
but it's... Don't even... Just... You'll know what we mean when you pick it up.
Y'all, it's so good.
At a certain point, you're like, really?
Yeah, quit faking.
I know.
Quit faking, you big fake.
Who are y'all fooling?
You can't fool the readers because we already know what's happening. So this is about 2 guys. One of them is the son of the president. One of them is the son of the English royals. They have like kind of a enemy nemesis relationship since they were young, and an accident happens and they end up having to do PR together to like make the 2 countries look like they're friends. And obviously something happens. It is such a fun time. It is a feel-good book, and y'all, I just like love this book so much. Like, I kind of want to reread it right now. Also fun because the president is a woman, so we support that because we are women. Highly recommend. Please read this book if you haven't already. The next book that made me just really love my life last month. I had a great birthday month. It was Beach Read. Okay, wow, look at her. Look at her. She's a 5-star. Stunning. Look, back, front, side. Okay, anyway. Beach Read. If you guys don't know what this book is, it's a book about a young writer who is going to clean out her father's beach house in Michigan. And she happens upon her old arch nemesis from college. And possibly there's like a little bit of a romance. I highly
I
recommend
am
this
so
book so
happy
much.
that you love my favorite book.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, what else do you want in a romance? Like, it's romance, there's substance, and that's what makes, like, these books so good. Like, these two books also, I'm gonna put Credence in here, because there is substance, y'all. There's substance. There's smut and substance. And I have figured out that is the kind of romance that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah,
That's what makes it a 5-star. You know what I mean? So, beach read, just such a good time. I'm hoping People We Meet on Vacation is so good. I can't wait to read that one. But like I said, if you guys are into kind of like that nemesis to romance, because that's really what those two are. It's not necessarily hate, because if you have a nemesis, you know you kind of like them a little bit. You know you're kind of jealous. You know they're kind of hot anyway.
Yes.
But if you're into the nemesis to romance, that's what I'm labeling them, then that book is for you. All right, next on the list is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. Okay, this book was so cute. This is a YA fantasy. It's like a pirate fantasy in some ways, but basically this one guy is the prince of a nation, and he ends up getting captured by pirates, and this other guy has to go and save him because he like met him randomly and then suddenly realizes, oh, the prince has been captured, let me go save him. There are some other elements to this that are kind of like spoilers, so I won't get into it, but this was such a fun time. I ended up giving this a 4 stars. The romance was super cute. The world was so fun. And I think that there's going to be another book based on the ending of this one, so that's a fun time for me. It is a male romance. I don't know if you can tell from the cover if you're interested in like a male pirate romance. But yeah, I just, you know, satisfied my pirate cravings, because I do have a little soft spot for pirates. So this was a fun time. Plus, also, how beautiful is this book? Stunning.
All right, next up, this was the beginning to the end of my reading, low-key. We participated in the Reader Dare Extraordinaire, and we had a lot of fun. We also got our COVID vaccines, and I also got sick.
What a fun weekend.
I know, but I did end up getting 1 book in. I planned on 3, you'll see in the vlog, but I did end up getting 1 book in, and I read To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, given to me by Rachel. It was 5 stars. It was really good. It took me 2 days to read because it is really science heavy, and you want to make sure you're understanding like where they are in space, because they travel from a lot of different points because they're trying to save Earth usually. So usually Earth is in a chaos. Place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a lot going on, but I really, really recommend for anyone that really loves like a sciencey sci-fi, like space exploration, first contact kind of stuff. This is the book for you.
The book for you. In the same vein of that, Rachel sent me The Swallows, which was her favorite book, or is her favorite book of 2021. The Swallows is kind of like a dark academia, follows a teacher who ends up going to this private school, and there's like some kind of like secret organization with the students, and she's figuring out that there might be some kind of like dark themes to this. Like there might be some hazing, there might be some, you know, other things going on. And so it's all about the teacher kind of like finding that out and trying to basically like help the kids who were in trouble. I found this to be so much fun. I can understand why some people wouldn't like it, because they do talk about BJs a lot, if you get what I'm saying. So that is mentioned quite a lot, but it doesn't that kind of stuff doesn't bother me, so I was okay with it. But the teacher herself is like such a rock star. Like she's a private school teacher, but she really does not give an F about like anything.
She's like Jack Black.
Right. What?
Jack Black.
Oh, yeah, in School of Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bringing it back full circle.
Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, kind of, except Jack Black I would say is a little bit nicer than her. She's definitely like...
She really doesn't have any feelings.
Yeah, she's like,
okay.
I really don't care. I'm just here for the money. But she's
it.
such a baddie because she actually does care, and obviously like some students are in trouble, so she ends up trying to help them. But I really like this. There's a ton of like plot twists in it, and there's a mystery element where you're just trying to figure out like, what does the code mean? What is this code? Like, what is this?
YA?
I would say,
Are they in high school or college?
They're in high school,
okay.
But I mean, they talk about BJs and stuff. So is that YA? I don't know. Like, what's the line?
When you were reading it, did you read
They cuss a lot. Is that YA?
did it feel more adult to you? I'm just asking, like, is it like more cookie cutter, or is it?
I would say it's on the older side of YA.
Okay.
I would say, like, there's not like a gruesome aspect. There's not like, you know, graphic images, but there is like cussing, and they do talk about sexual, you know, situations and stuff like that. So that being said, I ended up giving it a 4 stars, but I would say it's like between a 4 and a 4.5. Like, it was a fun time. I think the only thing that I didn't like was kind of the ending, because I was like, oh man, it's a little bit of a cop out, but it's okay, you know. Whatever. It is what it is. The other book that I ended up reading for the reader Dare Extraordinaire is Angel Fall from Noelle. She was like, you know, this is an older 2000s dystopian fantasy, but I feel like this is right up your alley. And let me tell you, Noelle, you were right. You were right. Okay. I'm pretty sure I gave this a 5-star. Unexpected. Okay. Because who reads a 2010s YA dystopian nowadays and says 5-star? Holds up pretty good. But this basically follows a fallen angel and a young, like, human girl and the apocalypse. So that has happened. Angels have come to wreak havoc, and, you know, there might be a little bit of a romance. I would say it's incredibly insightful because her mom is dealing with mental illness, and also her sister is disabled, and she is trying to navigate, you know, her mom being kind of like schizophrenic without drugs, because this is literally the apocalypse. There is no medication anymore. And her sister being in a wheelchair and trying to like navigate this while also fighting these angels.
Oh, I was gonna say dating an angel, but
well, their angels have come.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
To recap.
Right. And then there's one that might maybe like her. I don't want to like give it away.
I would hope there's a romance aspect to this, or I would write.
No, there definitely is. But it's so much fun, and I really enjoy like the post-apocalyptic world. Like, that's really what sold me on it, because it was so like really atmospheric. Like, I was like, oh, I'm in this. You know what I mean? If you guys have ever read Shatter Me, it's like a complete like difference from that, because I feel like when you read that series, you're kind of like, okay, what's the world look like again? You know, like, what is it? But this is like, you clearly know what's going on, and it's very interesting. Like, it's pretty fun. So I'm gonna read the second one. I bought the other 2 books because I was just so excited about this one. So highly anticipated. I'm hoping that the other 2 are just as good, but Noelle, you did it, girl. So did you, Rachel, but you know, anyway, we expect nothing less from the OGs.
Pretty good too, right?
You did. Credence also was really good. I was just talking about Credence.
Just want to make sure
that the people know. Monique, you did a good job as well. Monique was like, I'm gonna take a chance on this dark romance.
I knew immediately what I was gonna get. Yours was so easy.
Anyway, so it was a fun time. Okay, so on the dystopian track, you guys already know what this book is. Nostalgia read. Okay, I had to read a book with a competition as part of my Studio Ghibli board, and I'll go ahead and put that up like right now somewhere around. I pretty much did every prompt except for one, and it was Green Lights, the Matthew McConaughey. I started it and I was like, ooh.
Yes, thank you. The people are happy that you chose not to read that book.
The thing is, I think I'm going to read it, but I want to do it on audio because I feel like it would be more fun that way. Like, and I feel like I should be drunk. So
these are all things that need to be vlogged.
Yeah, like, I just feel like it just needs more attention than what I was gonna give it in like the 2 days that I had slotted to read it. So that's the only book I didn't read, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I did pretty well with this readathon. But The Hunger Games, back to this, y'all already know this is a 5-star, okay? I was on the Hunger Games trail because we did a TikTok where she dressed up as PETA, and maybe I'll play that somewhere around here too so you guys can see it.
I'm getting ripped tonight, R.I.P. that.
Oh my god, PETA! Hi. But it really...
play the real version.
I don't know, I think yours is pretty funny. So... But I was really on a Hunger Games kick. Like, we watched the Hunger Games movie when we made that TikTok, and then I was like, I need to reread this series. Obviously. And here we are. So I really love this book, and I was like unhauling my other 2 paperbacks because I'm like, they're just so old. But something about this one, like the first paperback, I think I'm gonna keep it and be a weirdo. Like, I wrote in it, like, I don't know, nostalgia. But yeah, The Hunger Games, you guys know, it follows Katniss Everdeen, who gets picked to play in these basic, like, you know, killing games.
A tribute, one would say.
Yeah, a tribute, one would say. There's a little romance aspect, and I was surprised that there was more romance in the book than in the movie. I didn't remember that. But like going back and reading the book, I was like, oh, like they're kissing a lot more than in the movie.
You don't say.
Yeah, like I had a good time rereading that, so I'm gonna try and reread the rest of that series this year as well. But y'all already know Miss Suzanne, she knows what she's doing. Last like dystopian-esque book that I read last month was Warcross by Marie Lu. So I actually got this as a book swap from Aspasia, and I didn't realize he sent me like the signed copy. I was like,
yeah,
are you a friend? Are you a friend? So thank you so much. Like, I know I already told you, but like, thank you. So I ended up reading this book. It's basically about kind of low-key like the same thing. So it's like virtual reality games, and she goes in because she's trying to find this other hacker, and she's apparently the best hacker ever, and she gets the job by accidentally like hacking into this one system, and so the boss guy is like, yeah, we need you. So they hire her, and she ends up going into the games, and it's a lot of fun. So they've got like trials and competition and stuff like that. It was a really fun time. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, and there's a tiny little romance element, which I like wasn't, like I anticipate it, but like I wasn't sure, you know, because I was like, it's a YA, like I don't know. But it was a fun time. I really liked it. And there's a twist, and I knew it too. I was like, I know this is gonna happen, but then it did happen, and I said, no, it did not happen. So it was like one of those books where you're like, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
But it definitely did. So joke's on me. Anyway, but also very creative, such a fun atmosphere as well. Like I really enjoyed this book. And yeah, just like obviously looks beautiful. Like we all know I pick books because they look pretty. So
don't we all? And so to close out my month, I read the arc for We Are the Brennans, and I didn't know what my expectations was going into this, but it has exceeded them so much. This is 5 stars. Like, y'all, when I say it's 5 stars, this is like reading This Is Us. Like, it is just so moving. It's so dramatic. It's just about a family that has like, there's like a dark secret that they're trying to figure out why this one sibling left to like move to California, and now that she's back in town in New York, they're like trying to figure out why she left, and it's just so good. I can't explain it to you. Like, I cannot explain to you. I've never read anything by Tracy Lange or Lange.
Yeah, we like randomly got this from Celadon, and we were like, oh, this looks interesting. Yes. Like, you know,
we got sent this from Celadon, and we
just didn't know anything about it. And so now, you know, it's good to hear that it's good.
It is so good. I can't. But yes, it's like one of those family dramas. I don't know which one. I've actually never seen This Is Us. I've only seen like 1 episode. But I feel like this is what This Is Us will give you. Like, it's just like about family. This Is Us is like so much drama. Yes.
And it's sad.
Yes.
You're just like.
But it's also not always sad, you know? But it's sad right now. Anyway, I recommend this. Give it a chance if you like a good drama.
Glad also, that we got sent it.
Yes, thank you again for seeing this, but also look up a content warning. Don't want to say what the content is because that would
obviously trigger warning,
but like look it up. It's not too bad, but just in case, prepare yourself.
Cool.
And that's my last book for
when does that come out?
I think it comes out the 29th or like the end of July.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are looking for that book, that's when it'll come out. Another book that we got sent, so this is so exciting. It's The Marvelous Mirza Girls by Sheba Karim. Sheba actually reached out to us because she saw one of our TikToks, and she was like, hey ladies, like, would you like to read my new YA coming of age book about a young Indian girl going to India to find herself? And I was like, yes. Absolutely. Okay, so this book is honestly like the cover of it, the prompt. Beautiful. Yeah, the prompt for this one was like beautiful cover. So obviously it's beautiful, but also just look at the book. Like this yellow book with the writing. Like, I love this book so much. So thank you so much, Sheba, for sending this to us. I ended up giving this book a 4 stars. Like, it was such a fun time and just like so interesting, I guess, because I haven't read that many books like taking place in India, like from a younger perspective. So this girl essentially like goes to India with her mom, and she's trying to kind of like figure out, you know, life, like what's happening, you know. She ends up meeting a young man. They may have a small romance, but it's not all about the romance. It's more about like her figuring out her journey and kind of like what happens at the end. And there's some like dramatic things that happen during the story that kind of like make it like give it a little more, you know, zhuzh. But it was really good, and I'm so happy that we got sent this.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, and I love food, yeah, just love the culture, and like it's just chock full of that in here. So it was just a really fun time. So other than that, we have 2 more books to talk about. One One is Howls Moving Castle, which was the group book for the Studio Ghibli Readathon, which I ended up giving this book a 4.5 stars. And I know a lot of people in our group kind of like were not feeling this book. So I'm thinking maybe my rating is more nostalgic, but it is like a fantasy set in half fantasy, half real world situation. Not our world, but there are like humans and stuff. Yeah, really, what else can I say other than it's different than the movie? And if you guys are expecting it to be like the movie, then I think your expectations might, you know, that might like make your rating go down a little bit. Other than that, like I really enjoyed the story and the characters. Like I love that whole world of like Howl's Moving Castle, and I really do think that the book gives you more than the movie. And yeah, it's just a fun time. I also listened to it on audio, which was fun. Like I own the book, but I ended up, you know, needing to do other things, so I listened to it on audio, and I highly recommend it on audio if you ever get a chance to listen to it.
Okay, so
Kikis delivery service.
Yes, this was pretty much straight like the movie for me.
It was literally the movie.
It was so cute. I gave it 4 stars. Look at the cover. It's just so pretty. Like even sorry.
I know. I was just gonna say I ended up buying this book and giving it to Monique because I was like,
she loves me.
Yes, that was the reason. But yeah, it is. If you guys love Kiki's Delivery Service, the movie, and you are into a middle grade book, then Kiki's Delivery Service, the book, is the book for you. There are like small differences, I would say, but it's pretty much the same exact plot.
Pretty much.
And I think it goes a little bit deeper than the movie, just obviously because it's a book. So very interesting. The author wrote this in a different language, so this is translated, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But
I read the foreword about that.
Yeah, and it's so sweet because she wrote it for her daughter. Like, she wrote it for her daughter. So it's just a fun time. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars, just, you know, because. But
I can see that.
But it was fun. It was a good time. 3.5 is not a bad rating.
No, yeah. Mine is a 4. It's pretty much the same rating.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Really
Kiki.
recommend. Also watch the movie.
Definitely. Yeah, if you guys have not read that and you're into middle grades, highly recommend Kiki's Delivery Service.
So that concludes our wrap up of June.
Wow, we made it.
We read
made it.
A lot of books.
Yeah.
And when I say again a lot, I mean,
you read a lot. You read 6.
Yeah. It's just, you know, when I compare myself.
Not a competition.
Agreed.
So. Plus, I was like, I am going to
bingo.
black out the board with every single different book I can get. Like, I did not want to double up. So, if I had doubled up, I probably would have, you know, done the whole board. But I was on a mission.
You probably could have. You would have blacked it out.
Yeah.
But it's different. Now you can say you did that and not that.
Right. Maybe next year.
But I think I had a pretty great reading month.
Yeah, most of mine were pretty high stars.
Yeah, I think the lowest was 3. Not bad.
The lowest was a 2-star, and that's one of the Book of the Month books. So if you guys are interested in that vlog, head on over there. I did actually forget to say I read The Princess Will Betray You. No, The Princess Will Save You, excuse me, which is the first book before one of the Netgalley books that I had to read, obviously, to know what was going on in the Netgalley book.
Yeah, how that worked out.
Yeah, that book ended up being a 3-star too, just because it was like, you know, YA fantasy, middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Nice way to say it.
You had a very eventful month, given that you were going for a blackout. So you're like, I can't waste my time.
Yeah, honestly, I was like reading constantly.
I'm just happy that Danny Brown took care of me, and more the ways than one. Anyway, so yes, again, if you like this video, you want to see more videos from us, make sure you hit those like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell thing.
Ding.
So you know, again, that we are making videos and they're coming out.
So until our next video, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.